It's the most taxing time of the year. The deadline for filing taxes by April 15th is coming soon. But don't worry, we're not here to pile on the paperwork. We're bringing in help. Joining us today is a finance expert and best-selling author here to share her tips for taking the stress out of tax season. Let's welcome Patrice Washington. Hello, Patrice. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Desiree. It doesn't have to be taxing. Let's talk about it.
Okay, I love that. So, Patrice, what is your top tip for surviving tax season?
So, Desiree, I've been the host of the Redefining Wealth podcast for 7.5 years now, and every single year, listeners send me messages and say, Patrice, I'm so stressed out. I don't know this year's tax codes. And I go, well, wait a minute. It's not just tax season. It's also Financial Literacy Awareness Month. And the thing I want people to know is the most important thing is that you are aware of your personal finance circumstances. It's not that you know all of the current year's tax codes. Now, some people, Desiree, will be able to file on their own. But to be honest, the average person who wants to reduce stress and have more ease needs to just consult a financial professional.
Okay, yes, I've heard that. And that way you kind of make sure it helps make sure there's not errors there. So what's a good place to go for help?
Well, H&R Block is a really great resource to help filers navigate this tax season with ease and, of course, confidence. So whether you prefer the control and flexibility of their DIY service or you want the expert guidance from one of their 60,000 tax pros, they do offer many ways to file. Their AI Tax Assist provides reliable assistance to complete returns with accuracy and ease. If you prefer help from an expert, their experienced tax pros can assist you virtually or at one of their 9,000 locations. They also offer, Desiree, get this, a free second look tax review. That means they will double check up to 3 years of prior returns, looking for missed credits and deductions. That's a big one. So visit hrblock.com to learn more.
Wow, as far back as 3 years. I mean, that's kind of nice because there might be some money that you missed out on. And if H&R Block can find that, sounds like a win-win situation. Patrice, can you give us a pro tip for making filing a little bit easier?
So Desiree, I know you've faced this at least once in your tax filing days. Procrastination because of unorganized paperwork. Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay. You're not alone. I used to feel like organizing receipts was such a challenge until I discovered Rapid Receipt. I love Rapid Receipt because it helps small businesses organize stacks of papers, receipts, invoices, and other tax-related documents, simplifying your year-end workflow. Epson ScanSmart AI Pro technology is so fast and accurate. It turns those financial documents into smart digital data, making them AI ready for tax season. Plus, it exports information directly to third-party vendors that you probably use already for easier tax filing and fewer errors. So for all my people with the scattered documents everywhere, a little birdie told me that it's actually on sale this week, so you might want to go pick it up.
Okay, I'm one of those people. I'm like, when it's tax time, I'm like, oh, where's everything? And I'm trying to scatter and find it, but you're helping things sound easier if we keep these items organized. Are there other ways to take some of the stress out of tax season, Patrice?
Well, you know, Desiree, money is a very emotional thing, and I think one way that we can reduce stress is to make sure that we're supported by community. So Redefining Wealth is not just a podcast, it is actually an app community that I have, as well as a live event that I do, because I believe that there is power and more peace in bringing people together to have some of these conversations and just normalizing it. It doesn't have to come with a lot of stress or struggle, strife, intimidation, embarrassment. We can actually make progress together, but you have to agree to stop suffering in silence and lean in to get the support that you need. So community is going to be one of your best bets. Don't do this alone.
Okay, I'm listening to you now because I tend to do it alone, but I'm realizing that's probably not helping me in the long run. And I mean, you yourself as a financial expert, what is your top tip for maximizing refunds?
You know, just last night in the Redefining Wealth app, I was talking to the community about not being folks who have an either or mentality. What does that mean? When you think about your refund or any windfall of money, what people tend to do is go, well, I have to do this or that. The reality is you can follow my 40-40-20 method. What does that mean? When you get this tax refund, and by the way, the average refund is about $3,300 this year, you can say, okay, I know what my vision is. I'm going to take 40% of that refund and reduce my debt. I'll take 40% and increase or establish my savings account. And then I'm going to take 20% and invest in my personal development. Why? Because personal finances will only grow to the extent you are willing to grow personally. At the end of the day, one thing about it, we keep taking ourselves into each one of these tax seasons. And if we don't improve ourselves, this is always going to be stressful.
Yep.
So I don't care if it's an app or a book, a course, a conference, a program, whatever your 20% will allow. It's not time to keep blowing it on just having fun. I'm not opposed to fun, but it's not about that. In this season,
Yeah.
I really think that people need to be more serious about investing back in themselves.
I love
because
that.
You want to be the best you can be.
We want to
this-
be the
this
best,
storm.
Patrice. Yes, I'm going to remember that 40, 40, 20. I'm going to check out your podcast too. And to our viewers, on top of that, you can find out more by heading to tipsontv.com.